Hi Mercury, how you doing? Good to see you, sweetheart. How are you? It is Friday. So we should post thighs, I suppose. Hi Kool-Aid Man. You're purple now. Are you grape flavored Kool-Aid now? Yep. But how you doing, Mercury? How you doing, Kool-Aid Man? It's the invite to the Discord server. Switch to phone, no worries. It's an invite to the Discord server. I would send you the link through Twitch Whispers. Yeah. You're not missing out on anything though. All that happens in there is stream notifications. So you are fine. I guess we can post these, I suppose. Oh, sorry. I was itchy. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah. We should post thighs, get out of the way, I guess. We post some. Do that during the ad break, I guess. Shouldn't take too long. I hope. The name, please, and take care. I could do that, Kool-Aid Man. The ad break starts any second now, so just let me know if you get hit with ads in a couple seconds. After sorry bot says ad break incoming. Let me know if you get hit with them, and then we'll get you your trigger request. I just want to make sure you get it. I don't do it while you're getting yelled at by Chester Cheetah or something. I haven't seen a Cheetos ad in a while, actually. I guess it's not like Cheetos need to advertise, I guess, right? So maybe that's why. All right, let me know if you get hit with ads, Kool-Aid Man. Sorry. I think that's the mic cover getting caught on the mic. I think that's what's going on there. I think. I think. Hi CJ, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I had just finished eating dinner. We had some gnocchi soup, or soup with gnocchi in it. It was like a tomato kind of soup. Almost, it reminded me a lot of like taco soup. Maybe because it uses we use Jimmy Dean sausage. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. But yeah, I think it was just cheese gnocchi. And spinach and sausage and crushed tomato. Yeah, something like that. But my day was okay. I got a bit of a I think it's an exhaustion headache or something. I don't know why. I don't know why. My head does kind of hurt. Welcome back from the break, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. We're good now? Okay. Drink some water. Oh, I'll be okay. I just need to go to sleep tonight at a reasonable hour. Okay. Here we go.
See, right who his name is spelling. Yep. Oh, thank you for the 20 stream streak, CJ. Thank you, thank you. That's very sweet. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. C O O L A I D M A N C O O L A I D M A N C. Oh, I forgot the numbers. Sorry. 0 1 C O O L A I D M A N C O O L A I D M A N 0 L L C O O L A I D M A N 0 1 1 C O O L A I D M A N.
Sorry, felt like I was getting burp. All right, one more.
C
There it is. Excuse me. Sorry. Gross.
O O L A I D M A N 0 1 1.
Welcome back, Mercury. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Thank you for the water, CJ. Thank you. Hi, Rock Lobster. Thank you for the 3 stream streak, sweetheart. Thank you. How you doing? Oop, sorry, that was loud. There we go. Please go follow Mercury if you're not already. I'm sure if you're here right now, you know Mercury. I'm sure. But please go give Mercury a follow if you're not already. He deserves it. He's very sweet. He's playing through Pokemon ZA, and he has a very nice, cozy voice that is nice to listen to. And he's also a fellow boy of the femme variety. And he posts nice every Friday, and I am trying to do that too. So I just posted nice on Twitter. We're working on the Blue Sky post. Mercury, those knee highs look cute on you. Oh my goodness. Those are so cute. Mercury's cute as heck, dude. It's crazy. Okay. Of course, Mercury, you're welcome. I'm doing all right. I got a bit of a eye exhaustion headache, but I'll be okay. It happens. I need to get some sleep. Um, I also yesterday I cleaned off a shelf behind my door that just had stuff on it sitting there for years. I had an old hamster cage and a fish tank and a bunch of garbage. Well, not garbage, but just old stuff I didn't need anymore. I found all these little paper finger puppets um, that I made with one of my cousins when we were in junior high. Because there's a series of books called like Origami Yoda or something. I don't remember what they were called, but my cousin liked them a lot because it revolved around Star Wars a little. Yoda books. So there was a series of them. There was The Strange Case of Origami Yoda, and then Darth Paper Strikes Back, The Secret of the Fortune Wookiee, The Surprise Attack of Jabba the Puppet, Princess Label Maker. I can't make out the rest of the title in this picture. And then Emperor Pickletine Rides the Bus. And in each book, it tells you how to make an origami version of the Star Wars character on the cover. And all the covers are the origami creatures or characters. So we made a bunch of little paper finger puppets. And I don't really remember what happens in them. I think Emperor Pickletine rides the bus. One of them, it's about the class goes on a field trip to the Smithsonian. I think it's been so long since I read them. But I found all those finger puppets, which was a nice little surprise. Excuse me. But are you feeling any better, Mercury? Are you all better now? Right? You said you were feeling a little sicky a couple, like last week, I think. If I'm remembering correctly, that's right. I very well may not be. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat a lot. The soup it made me kind of phlegmy, I guess. It's all right. Goodness. Goodness gracious. Please give Mercury lots of love. He deserves it. Okay. Sorry, that was my neck. Okay. Flies have been posted successfully. They've been posted. The newest Yu-Gi-Oh! Albaz episode yet? No, I haven't watched any of the. I haven't watched any of that anime. I haven't. I keep forgetting about it. I keep forgetting about it. The next series is going to be the Charmers archetype. Oh, that's the archetype that had the really bad structure deck, right? At least I remember people saying that structure deck was terrible. I don't remember why it was bad. I just remember people saying it was bad. Extra deck cards. Is that why? Man, that feels like forever ago. It probably was. Any random ones? Random what? Sorry, random what? Oh, it was something about Topia or some links. Oh, I don't know. Um, a review on Google right here says that it doesn't have a ton of the right support. So makes sense. I remember seeing it on like Walmart shelves forever. Forever. It's like it was almost like the 2008 Blue Eyes deck that they just keep reprinting, or Walmart keeps finding crates of cases of, or something. But with people being like, "Hey, don't buy this. It's bad. Buy the other one instead." Has a new deck release, so maybe. Yeah, it looks like they're making a Charmers deck based on the episode or something. So, um, I think they'll probably offer pre-order or something. I don't know. Sorry, it might be my arm warmer that gets snagged on it. I don't know. Oh, are you still here, Mercury? Can you tell us why the Charmers deck sucked? I don't know. I don't think Mercury's still here. Oh, I think I was talking about. I moved all my puppet stuff into my room, or most of it anyway. My like 2 years ago, or maybe it was three now. I don't remember. Um, my grandma gave me a bunch of fabric that she didn't want or need because she cleaned out one of the rooms in our basement to turn it into a guest room, and um, yeah. So I have like it's so much like of that black fur that we tried to make a puppet with. It is just too thick. Um, was yeah. So we'll try that again eventually. Eventually. Um, but yeah. So I moved most of my puppet stuff into my room. Um, put a bunch of it in the a big plastic totes that my sister wasn't using. So um, it's all put away nice and safe. But no, I haven't really thought about Yu-Gi-Oh in a while. I don't know why. Probably because we haven't played Master Duel in a while. Um, yeah, that's probably why. a few good few cards like Effect Veiler and Raigeki in it. I think it's just the deck in general being more destructive based than combo. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. Makes sense. Excuse me, goodness gracious, sorry. Um, so I don't know if people care. I don't really care, but it's the gaming news now, I guess, that the new Call of Duty sucks. Um, I I think we talked. Did we talk about this last week? I don't remember. Did the game launch this week? I feel like we talked about Call of Duty not too long ago. Maybe we didn't. Grass green and sky blue. Also, the Charmer deck didn't have the dark or light Charmer. Oh, that's yeah. It was like I think I remembered somebody. It was probably Paul saying that the deck doesn't have all the Charmers in it, or something. But if they do a structured deck like Anime Albaz, then they could add the Link Charmers into it and maybe some new cards to it. Nice. That would be fun. Um, but yeah, like the only Call of Duty I've really played is one of the DS games, and that was a fun evening. Uh, one of the neighborhood kids brought over a DSi and a bunch of games that an older neighborhood kid gave him, and then we played the Call of Duty. Let me look up the Call of Duty DS games. See if I can remember which one it was. It was either Modern Warfare. It was either Modern Warfare or no, it was World at War. I'm pretty sure it was World at War. Um, we played Call of Duty World at War on the DS. It was me, my brother, and our friend, and I kicked our butts. It was really because you aim with the stylus on the touchpad, I think. Um, but yeah, I missed that. It was weird, but you miss when they just ported like a game to everything possible, but um, every version was different. Like, um, there was a tie-in game for the Thor movie on like the DS or Game Boy Advance or something, and it was like an actually like competent platformer, and then the other ones were just like really bad or something. That's when they did that. Not that there's any like lower powered handhelds to port things to, I guess, unless you there's the what's it called? The yellow handheld console with the crank. What's that thing called? That's the only one I can think of. Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience with Call of Duty. It's just really, I don't know. I don't know. It's just in the news. I guess everybody's talking about how bad the new Call of Duty is. And I've watched YouTube videos of people playing the campaign. I think Bricky uploaded a video of him playing it. Like, man, this just. Well, we played a FPS game on Tuesday, But I haven't played like a AAA one. It's sent like a new one. Uh, Probably on stream. That was probably Doom Eternal, the most recent one I've played on stream. Right? No, the GTFO and SCP-5K, but um, I don't know. I don't know. It's just bizarre. And I get like Game Pass ads on YouTube, and like you can get this and then play Call of Duty Black Ops 7 for free or whatever, wherever you want. Like, who would do that? It seems really bad. Donkey's video about $30 a month. Yep, for the if you want day one. That's like half the price of the Call of Duty game. Although you have to, if you're stuck on the Xbox ecosystem, you have to pay for multiplayer. So I don't know, maybe that it's not that bad of a deal. I guess I don't know. To use of Switch normal online service for that cost. That's crazy. That's nuts. Wow. Not that I have a Switch or anything, but 2 years for Switch Online for like the basic plan is $30. They gotta raise that. And they haven't raised it. I don't know why. Well, they have the expansion pass or whatever it is, right? The expansion pack. That's probably where they make the money, right? Because you get the Super Nintendo games and 64 games and GameCube games and Genesis games. Game Boy Advanced, I think, and Game Boy. Expansion plan for 1 year. Okay, but still for $30. Yeah, same price as 1 month of new Xbox Online Game Pass. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I guess for some people, $30 a month for Game Pass is still worth it, I suppose. To me, that's just crazy. Like, you could buy like the Steam winter sales coming up. You could buy so many games for $30. Um, you know, you get much better games for $30. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't play a ton of multiplayer games. 360 Gold was $25 to $30 a year, right? Right? I don't know. After getting a PC and stuff, like the idea of having to pay to play online, it's it's sickening. It's really, it's not, it's not appealing at all. Not at all. I hear Arc Raiders is fun. I hear it that it's fun. Um, I don't think I'll ever play it. Because like I already have GTFO and Deep Rock, and plenty of my friends already have that game. Those are 4 player. Well, maybe I don't know how many players you can have in an Arc Raiders lobby. Um, but yeah, I'm glad people like the game. I've seen clips of Pecora playing it, and they were pretty good. Sorry. It's just, it's just kind of sad. Think about what was happened to Xbox. I think they were really banking on making a ton of money with Call of Duty and Candy Crush. I'm sure they are, um, but I think they wanted to make Call of Duty a console exclusive. I think they did, and then Sony was like, "No, that's going to cost us a ton of money. We're going to lose so much money." Um, because I'm pretty sure that more people buy Call of Duty on PlayStation than Xbox, just because there's more PlayStations out there, probably. But thank you for the water, CJ. Thank you. And um, and then Sony was like, no, they're gonna, yeah. And then they were forced to say, we won't make Call of Duty a console exclusive for at least 5 or 10 years or something like that. Um, we're committed to not making it a console exclusive, and I think that kind of started everything. Was the beginning to everything or something. I don't know. I think that was their plan. Um, and like the um mess that was Halo Infinite's development and life cycle. Holy smokes, dude. Holy moly. um, I remember seeing the reveal trailer um, in like 2018 for the E3 um, and being like, wow, that's really cool. He's got his, like, what his helmet should look like and all that stuff, right? And then it was like nothing for like a year or 2 years or something. Maybe it was a year. And then they did the gameplay reveal, and it looked terrible. The game looked so bad. Um, and then because Infinite was going to be a launch title for the new Xbox, which that had only happened since the original Xbox and Combat Evolved. So I was excited for that to happen, and a bunch of other people were. And oh man, um, and then the game got delayed a year, which it definitely needed. It probably needed another year beyond that. Um, but yeah, it was just real sad. It was real sad, and the game they released the multiplayer like a month in November, and then the campaign released on December 8th of the next month. Um, I'm pretty sure it was the 8th of December, which I played it on Game Pass. I never even bought it. I've only played it once. Um, and then the multiplayer is actually pretty fun. I think. Um, I don't think the only Halo multiplayer that I've like don't have fun playing is probably Halo 4, unless it's like Infection or something. Um, and then there was all the like Halo Infinite's uh, support uh, post launch was like awful. It was so bad. We got the first season with the launch um, of the multiplayer, and then we got season two, and then season three wasn't for like another year, or pretty close to a year after season two. We got the winter update that next year, and or was it the same year? I don't remember. It's been so long now. um, and the winter update was kind of cool. It added Halo Reach Mark 6, uh, Mark 5 armor core, and all that. But like before that, we just had the first season, and then the second season, and then like nothing for like practically a year. It was terrible. Um, it was so bad. I don't. I think I stopped playing after the winter update. I don't even remember what season three was about. Um, and they had like a narrative going on during the seasons, the first handful, and then we're like, we're not doing that anymore. We're gonna just put it on the blog post or whatever. Um, because like after the third or fourth season, the people working on Infinite was just a skeleton crew for sure. Um, we got a couple new weapons earlier this year for Infinite. Um, was it a new AR or something that used one of the AR skins? Maybe it was a battle rifle skin. I don't remember. And then they added the fuel rod cannon. But because there were so few people and resources left for Halo Infinite stuff, um, they used one of the Spanker weapon models that was like gold and like looked like it was rounded and um, was gold and kind of looked like the, the rock fuel rod rocket launcher, right? It doesn't look like a fuel rod cannon, but they just used the model to put something like the fuel rod cannon in the game. I don't even think we got the Spartan laser in Infinite, right? I don't think we did. Anyway, it was just really sad. Um, and when the multiplayer launched, um, the battle pass was like the only progression, and still mostly was. There was like competitive ranking, and I think you had like a level thing, a separate level track, maybe. But at the beginning, the only way to get XP to progress levels through the battle passes uh, was to complete challenges. And at launch, the challenges sucked. They were terrible. Um, like hyper specific. Like you would have to like hard focus on them instead of the match. Um, it was like splatter 5 people with the banshee or um, kill 3 banshees. So you would either have to get lucky and oh, and the maps. One of the things that I really don't like about Halo Infinite's multiplayer is that on the bigger maps for like big team battle and things, capture the flag, stuff like that. Um, uh, the weapon drop or the vehicle drops for weapons. Hi Minecraft King, how you doing? Good to see you. Mwah. Hope you've been well. Were random. In the older Halo games, the vehicles just spawn on the map. They're just there when the match starts, and then respawn on a timer after getting blown up. In Halo Infinite, a Phantom or a Pelican comes down and drops you a random human vehicle. So, or a random vehicle. So you could, on your side of the map, your team side, the Pelican could drop you a mongoose, and then the enemy team gets a wraith, and this just feels bad. So with these hyper specific challenges, you would have to camp spots where vehicles spawn and just hope that the game spawns a banshee and that you get to you survive long enough to run people over with it, um, or that it spawns banshees for you to blow up. And yeah, or I think some of the challenges were like get like 10 noob combos, things like that. Anyway, I remember I was playing it. This is like 2021, right? Or maybe 2022. Try to work out more each day. I need to do that too. I'm doing all right, Minecraft King. I got a bit of a headache though, just an exhaustion headache. I'll be okay. Just need to go to bed at a reasonable time after stream tonight. Um. Anyway, the challenges were the only way to get XP to advance the battle pass and to level up the battle pass, and they were all hyper specific, and you only had access to like 4 challenges at once, and they rotated every week. And I think there were a total of like 10, maybe 12. And then if you got all of those done, you would get the weekly challenge, and if you completed that, then you would get like a cosmetic for that week, like a or an emblem, um, something like that. In the first week, um, the first weekly reward was a visor, and if you logged on and played in like the first 2 weeks or first week, and when the multiplayer launched, you got a special um, emblem for your armor and like a armor armor coating, a color for your Spartan that looks kind of like the Master Chief's colors, kind of, or it's like pearlescent green, something like that. And I remember I was trying so hard to get the stupid weekly challenge. Like the it was like the first time that FOMO like got to me and like stressed me the heck out. So they made the challenges like hyper specific and super grindy, um, which made it so if you were playing a match, you would most players would just ignore the game objective and then just try to get their challenges done, which is not fun at all. You should be focusing on the game mode objective. I think your Minecraft King is I should be fine tomorrow. Um, but in the store shop, the games shop, you can get challenge swaps for $2.50 worth of in-game currency, and you got like 5 of them, or maybe it was I think it was 3, and you got a handful through the battle pass too. I remember I was up to like 2 in the morning trying to grind these stupid challenges out. Like I was stressed. I could not sleep. Like I tried to go to bed. I'm like, no, if I'm gonna miss out on the stupid visor. I gotta get these challenges done. And so I got out of bed because I could not sleep. And then bought the stupid challenge swaps. And then swapped my challenges. And then I didn't even get it. Or maybe I did. No, I didn't get it in time. But everybody was like, dude, 343, these challenges suck. What are you doing? And that after that week, the first week, they were like, hey guys, we're sorry. Everybody gets the first like 2 or 3 weeks worth of weekly challenge rewards, and we'll work on making the challenges a little easier. And so they took out more of the tedious ones, like splatter 3 people with a banshee. Um, and then now they're more like get 5 headshots, get 25 kills for like the harder ones, um, stuff like that. Things that are like easily achievable inside the game mode itself instead of having to ignore the game mode. Anyway, yeah, it stressed me out. It sucks. Or sucked. Like the Halo Infinites. Yeah. Because they always played Griffball. Halo Infinite never got Griffball. They never did. I don't know if they do now. Um, Halo 5 Griffball was so good. It was so much fun. There's a game mode, or there's a map. So a lot of the action sack playlist modes, which are like all the like casual stuff like Griffball and Fiesta or Super Fiesta. They were in a playlist called Grab Bag or whatever. I think it's still called that in MCC. I have not looked. But Halo 5 Griffball was really fun because there were variant gravity hammers. There were no brutes in Halo 5, but there were gravity hammers. And there were variant gravity hammers that you would swing, and then they would make like this wave of gravity energy that would go out in front of you and kill people. And it had a like larger blast radius, so it would push people further. And there was this really cool map in the Griffball playlist in Halo 5 that was like a tube with super low gravity. And so you would spawn with an energy sword and a gravity hammer and plasma grenades. So you would and each end of the tube was the goal, and parts of the wall or whatever would close in and out and open like an aperture camera. So you would have to throw the ball at the right time to get the griff ball into the goal. and you would be like zooming across through the tube because you would like turn around, gravity hammer, slam, and then it would just send you flying. It was really cool. Um, like people say, all Halo 5 did a lot of rough and bad things, like right. But one of the things it did really well, and I think um, were a lot better than some of the other, definitely better than Halo 4's. Halo 5's custom games were so good. They were so good, so much fun. Um, yeah, Griff Ball in Halo 5 was really fun, and we never got Griff Ball in Halo Infinite. If we did, I never played it. It was after I put the game down. Um, but the Gravity Hammer in Halo Infinite was just kind of. It didn't have a ton of like gravity effects. Like it couldn't move as much of like affect much of the environment. It was pretty nerfed. So we just never got Griff Ball, and it took us like 2 or 3 years to get infection, which was really frustrating because people like data mined the game or something, and then they found infection mode listed in the game files or whatever, and like it's done. They're just sitting on it, and then it took them like a year, 2 years, year and a half to give it to us because they were saving it for like Halloween time, which is like fair enough. But we were like Halo Infinite's launch, we had like 5 playlists, um, and not a single Slayer playlist. Slayer was in a playlist with King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, and Oddball. So if you just wanted to chill and just kill dudes, you would have to get lucky. And most of the time, I just got Oddball, and I'm not a big fan of Oddball. I like Oddball, but not that much. Not that much. So you would just see a bunch of people leave games if it was Oddball or something. And we were like, 343, give us a Slayer playlist. What are you doing? And they're like, oh, we can't because of UI limitations, but we're looking into it. So I don't know if it was actually the UI sucked so bad, like the UI engine. I don't know. Sucked so bad they couldn't add another bar to the scroll down menu and just say Slayer. We eventually did get a Slayer playlist. Halo Infinite does have Firefight as well, um, but all the maps are community made Forge maps, which is fine. Halo 5 did that too towards the end of its life, um, with like a big team battle. Halo 5 took a while to get big team battle too, because they had um, Warzone, Halo 5 Wreck Warzone, whatever it's called, and then uh, we didn't have big team battle. People were asking for a big team battle. Eventually, we did get a big team battle playlist in Halo 5, but all the maps were fan forge maps. And they were still very good maps, but it definitely, you could tell they were forge maps. And we got Warzone Firefight, um, which is the best Warzone mode because you just fight the AI enemies, and yeah, is the best way to get rec points as fast as possible. Well, it wasn't. There was there was Warzone. I don't remember what it was called, but there was the main Warzone game mode was basically just giant big team battle, and Halo 5 had loot boxes, rec packs that you could get with earned Spartan points after you would get Spartan points after every match, and that unless it was custom games, you didn't get rec points for custom games, and then you would use those to spend rec points or rec packs, and there were bronze packs, silver packs, and gold packs, and then DLC packs added. You would get they added Halo Reach armors and stuff like that through special rec packs. So you would get rec packs, and then you would get a handful of weapon and vehicle rec cards, and then occasionally you would unlock the um, rec verification or whatever it's called for that of a specific weapon or vehicle, and that would come with a bundle of like 5 of that specific weapon or vehicle, and then those would appear more often, something like that. And there were like 4 or 5 variants of every vehicle. The Phaeton only had one variant, the uh, Helios Phaeton, something like that. And that's like the one wreck I never got because the thing is stupid rare. And it's like the best vehicle in the game. The thing's crazy. Uh, um, so in Warzone, you would get in the match, and then as you got kills and scored points or whatever for your team, you would unlock rec levels, which you could go to a rec station and then spend uh, your rec points, which would recharge after a certain amount of time, so you could uh, pull more rec cards out of your rec bank, I guess. um, so you could pull out weapons, vehicles, and like active camo, overshield, speed boosts, damage boosts, things like that out of your rec cards with your rec points. And the rec level went up to level 9. And there were some there was a Warzone game mode that just started everybody at rec level 9, and those matches were over in a matter of minutes because people would just load up in their Phaeton, uh, Phaeton, Phaetons. I don't remember what they were called, but they were load up in those and like the best rocket launchers or whatever, and then just zoom. Where's the objective in a regular Warzone match is basically tug of war. Uh, you have to capture spots on the map, and when you have all of them, then it would make your opponent's base vulnerable. It would let the enemy, you could walk into their base, and then you had to blow up their core, their reactor core in their base, and then you won. But you had to control. There were 2 outposts and then a garage in the middle of the map. Some maps I think had 2 garages if they were large enough. Um, I never watched the Halo TV show. I never watched it. Um, I've watched videos about it. I'm like, yeah, this sucks. This is weird. I've seen Forward Unto Dawn and was it called Nightfall? The one about Spartan Locke before he's a Spartan, and then they go to a chunk of the destroyed Halo ring, and they don't find the flood. They get attacked by hunter worms, like a variant of the hunter worms that are like very carnivorous and can morph into like any shape, like the worms can anyway. Um, and it's like some plot about the Covenant trying to they stole a bioweapon from Oni, so they have to go find the source of the I don't remember. They go to the broken Halo ring for some reason. I don't remember, but I watched it on the Halo Waypoint app on my Xbox, I think, for free years ago. I think Forward Unto Dawn is better. Like, I genuinely think Forward Unto Dawn. It's been a while since I've watched Forward Unto Dawn, like a really long time. Um, but Forward Unto Dawn is, it gives us like um, Captain Lasky's backstory and how he knows Chief. Because in Halo 4, when Lasky meets Chief, for the first time in the game, he's like, "Oh, it's been a while since I've seen you, Chief. Good to see you." Uh, and people are like, "How does he know Chief?" And then they made Forward Unto Dawn, which was on Netflix for a really long time. And I think Chief's armor in Forward Unto Dawn is pretty cool. Um, there's like it's been a while. It's been a long time since I've watched Forward Unto Dawn, but I think I remember liking Forward Unto Dawn. Um, at least I think Chief's armor in that's pretty cool. Um, and so it's like Lasky in like boot camp, and then the Covenant attack the planet that his boot camp is on, and then the Spartan 2s show up in like the last 30 minutes, um, and then save Lasky and everybody. So it's like I really early on in the war. Well, not really early on, but because I don't know how old Lasky is in Halo 4. Anyway, um, yeah. Welcome back from the break, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you, thank you. It's already been an hour. But yeah, I remember the show, CJ. I remember it. I never watched it. It just seems really bad. Uh, um, so, Hidden Xperia, the YouTuber, a couple of days ago posted a video where he um talked with I don't remember what his name is, but he was a OG Bungie guy, and he made Blood Gulch, and he talked something Hardy, I think is his name. Let me see if I can find it, and that interview was really cool. Uh, but um, oh, maybe it was posted a while ago, and I just my YouTube feed gave it to me. Maybe that's what happened. Yeah, I think that's what happened. It must have been a while ago. Unless they took the video down. Oh, no, it was a year ago. My YouTube feed just gave it to me recently, I guess. um, but yeah, he riffs Bungie or 343 a new one in the video. It was great. Um, and he essentially was like they should reboot Halo, and because Halo was made under very specific creative influences, like Jason Jones, um, and all those guys at Bungie. They put a lot of their influences went into making Halo Combat Evolved and stuff what it is, like military, sci-fi fiction, um, and all that. And so Hardy was like, they should just give the Halo Studios or 343 creative guys, get a bunch of like the creative geniuses together, get put together your A team, and then just let them uh, do what they want. And I think he's right. I think he's right. Because uh, yeah, I think I would be. I think that would be better. And I think that might be what they're prepping to do with the CE remake. If it goes well, I think the CE remake is mostly like just so the studio can figure out how to use Unreal. It's probably just a learning to figure out how to use Unreal. And then if it goes well, maybe they'll probably do Halo 2 and then Halo 3. I don't think it'll be too late. because people were saying that with Halo 5, and we're still here. But um, just because uh, I think about 343's trilogy of Halo games, like I do Disney's sequel trilogy. Like there's some cool stuff that they do in there. There's some really neat set pieces and stuff like that. Uh, but the story is like not cohesive at all. Like um, Halo 4, I think, is the best plot overall. Even if it's a little, it could be a little silly, but um, the emotional core with Cortana's rampancy and Chief and stuff is good, is good. And then Halo 5 went through a lot during development, like a ton. Um, Either they had to do a bunch of rewrites to the campaign, or the marketing team just did not talk to the writers at all. Because the marketing, I remember being very excited. Like the who's this Locke guy? He's gonna shoot Chief, but then there's another version of the ad where Chief shoots Locke. Oh my goodness! Chief went AWOL and Locke's hunting him down. What happened? In the Hunt the Truth audio drama was like really good. I haven't listened to it uh, at all, really. Um, but everybody said it was really exciting and really cool. Somebody was investigating. It's about somebody investigating the origins of the Spartan Twos and why Chief went AWOL or something like that, which basically has no consequence to Halo 5's plot at all. Um, and then you play Halo 5, and I think Halo 5 has some really cool set pieces, like when you're running down the spine of the Guardian in that one level. Really cool set pieces in Halo 5. Really fun set pieces. But like the reason Chief goes AWOL in Halo 5 is because he hallucinates. Like he falls and then hits his head and then passes out and then hallucinates Cortana being alive and then talking to him, and then she's like, "Come find me, Chief. I'm good. Be evil or something." So Chief is like, "Cortana's alive. I have to go find her." And then the UNSC is like, or after that, the cutscene of the last cutscene of that level, Chief radios is like, "I'm gonna go look for Cortana," and then the correspondent on the of the UNSC is like, "Negative, Chief. We have Cortana handled." And then it's like, "I don't like it," and then he gets on the Pelican and then goes AWOL to find Cortana. That's him going AWOL. And then Chief and Locke do fight in Halo Infinite. They do, or Halo 5. And the fight scene sucks. It's choreographed terribly. Um, it's just really bad. Um, Halo 5's story was just really disappointing, but has some neat set pieces. And then Halo Infinite feels more like the third act of a 3-act story. Like, um, like Halo 5 isn't even like the first act of Halo Infinite story. We're playing the third act, and then we get bits and pieces of what happened in the first and second act of the story, and then the game just ends. Um, there was obviously a plan at some point for Halo Infinite to get DLC, uh, campaign DLC content, and it never happened. Um, which was really sad because it ends on a cliffhanger, which which is a thing with 343's Halo games. I guess the only one that doesn't is Halo 4. Halo 5 ends on, I think Halo 5's cliffhanger is worse, because if you just played Halo 5, if you played the 4, 5, and Infinite in order, back to back, without knowing anything of the books, the story is like incomprehensible. It's a little comprehensible between 4 and 5, and then 5 and Infinite. There's like it feels like it's just a completely different plot. Um, Especially if you didn't play. So in Halo 5, they made Cortana evil because a fragment. Because in Halo 4, to stop the Didact from composing all of Earth into Prometheans, excuse me, she had to split herself into a bunch of smaller chunks to disable shields or something, so Chief could get to the Didact or the core or whatever to uh, ignite the Hellfire missile or whatever, the nuke, to blow up the composer. And so she split herself into a bunch of little pieces, and then Chief blows up the bomb and then blows up the composer, and she saves him by putting him in a little bubble, and then she dies. And then I don't know if this is canon. If it's been theorized that a piece of her that she split into in the end of Halo 5 found the domain, which is like this. I don't even know what the domain is. It's this vague thing that the Forerunners had. Um, it's like a thing that controls all like Forerunner tech or something. I don't know. It lets her control the Guardians anyway in Halo 5. So the theory is that Cortana is evil in Halo 5 because um, the fragment of her that touched the domain um, was just evil, or it's because it was one that had the logic plague because she was stuck on High Charity for a couple weeks with the Grave Mind in Halo 3, between Halo 2 and 3. So there's a theory that she is infected with the logic plague, which is how the Flood control AI constructs. They just like talk to them till they go mad. Um, and she's like, oh, she's going crazy and taking over the universe because uh, the Grave Mind like infected her brain. And then this fragment of her that found the domain is that fragment, or she's just evil. That fragment's just evil, maybe. And then Halo Infinite, none of that mattered. That all happened off screen. Cortana was destroyed and stopped off screen, or before we even pick up the controller, plot wise. And then we find out about it via holograms. So, um, and the bad guys in Halo Infinite are the Banished, which is this like this fragment of the Covenant, or a branch of the Covenant. It's not even a branch; it's just everybody that left the Covenant, and they're basically this giant pirate faction. Um, that's mostly brutes, and yeah, and those guys first appeared in Halo Wars 2, which um, happened between Halo 5. That game came out between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite. And we still don't know what happened to the human characters in Halo Wars 2. I think there might be novels. I don't know. Um, but last we saw, the Banished were stranded on the Ark. So Halo Wars 2 takes place on the Ark, which is it's the lesser arc. There were two arcs. There was a greater arc that was destroyed by the flood during the Forerunner Flood War that made the original Halo array that they were like twice the size of the um, current Halos. I think maybe one of them is still around, maybe, but maybe not. There might be Zeta Halo. I don't know. I don't remember. But the first Halo array was all destroyed, and the greater arc was blown up. So they made the lesser arc as a backup, and that made the smaller Halos and the second array of the Halo rings. And that's where Halo Wars 2 takes place. After so this is so there's a lot. If you haven't played Halo Wars 2 and you play Halo Infinite, you'll have no idea who anyone is besides the Master Chief. Um, um, and you'll have no idea who the Banished are. They just because so in Halo Wars, the first Halo Wars game takes place in 25, 30 something. So like roughly 20 to 30 years before Halo Combat Evolved, the first Halo game. The first Halo game through Halo 3 happen in the last couple months of 2552. And I think Halo Wars happens in 2530 something. I'm pretty sure it's in the 30s. So it's like early to the early years of the war. It's before Spartans even have shielding. And it surrounds a crew on the pillar of the what's it called? Is it the pillar of fire? Or is it the spirit of fire? The spirit of fire, which is a forget the forward unto dawn. It's a different model from the pillar of autumn. I think it's a cruiser or a corvette, something like that. Anyway, and in the first Halo Wars game, they find a shield world, which are these big artificial planets that the Forerunners made. They're basically Dyson spheres. It's the same setting that Halo. It's the same thing that Chief gets sucked into in Halo 4. It's a different shield world, but they're basically Dyson spheres with artificial stars in the center. And that's where the first Halo Wars game ends. And it ends with the Spirit of Fire crew using the Spirit of Fire's faster than light engine to blow up to make the star in the center of the shield world go into melt down and like expand and then swallow the planet, because the shield world is full of a Forerunner fleet, and the Covenant want to use it against in the war. So they blow up. So they use their fast and light travel engine, their FTL engine, to blow up the star, and then they all go into cryosleep, and then the ship floats in space for 30 years until Halo Wars 2, because they can't go back home because they can't use fast and light travel. So they all go to sleep, and then they wake up orbiting the Ark. And we still are not sure how they got to the Ark. It's a pretty popular theory. It was mendicant bias, which is a whole other thing. Mendicant bias is a Forerunner AI construct that was around during the Forerunner Flood War that was affected with the Logic Plague and then turned on the Forerunners, and he was banished to the Ark or something, and now he regrets it, so he's trying to help humans now, I think, basically. Basically. So there's a theory that mendicant bias opened a portal from the Ark to wherever the Spirit of Fire was, and then brought them to the Ark, because they were nowhere near the Ark. The Ark is outside of the Milky Way. So it would have taken way more than 30 years to slowly drift over there. The only way to really get to the Ark is through the Ark portals. So they show up above the Ark, which since Halo 3 has been colonized and is being studied by the UNSC, and the Banished went to the Ark to take it over because it makes Halo rings, and the Banished want their own Halo rings, essentially. So the plot is the humans trying to stop the Banished from making a Halo ring, and trying to wrestle control of the ring, the Ark, from the Banished. And the Banished have this giant Covenant CCS battle cruiser, like this giant ship, that at the end of the game is destroyed, and that was their only ship. Their only ship that with slip space travel. So neither the Spirit of Fire can't travel through slip space, and the Banished can't either. They're all stranded on the Ark, and that's where the game ends. And then there's some DLC content about before the Spirit of Fire makes it to the Ark, and stuff like that. And there's a flood-based DLC where the Banished awaken the flood stuck on the Ark because they didn't all get blown up. The Gravemind is dead. The Gravemind from Halo 2 and 3 is dead, but there's still flood stuck in the husk of High Charity that crashed on the Ark, and they breached the containment that the Ark and Sentinels put around the around High Charity, and then they let the flood out, and then there's a little mini campaign if you have to stop the flood, and you play as the Banished. Excuse me. Which I think happens before the base game or after, I don't know. Anyway, so the game ends and everyone is stranded on the Ark, and then Halo Infinite starts, and then somehow maybe they've got another ship, I don't know, but Atriarch's the guy in control of the Banished escapes the Ark somehow. Oh, and I don't know if we know how yet. I don't know if they put that in a novel. But so yeah, the story between 4, 5, and Infinite are basically you would need to like watch a guide video on what the heck happened between them. Where Combat Evolved 2 and 3, the story is pretty easy to follow. The gap between Combat Evolved and Halo 2 is like 2 weeks. And there's a book about it called First Strike, and it's really good, and you should read it. And then the gap between, or maybe it's like a month, I don't know. The gap between 2 and 3 is like 2 weeks. While Chief is stuck on the Forerunner ship on its way to Earth. And there's a comic about what he does on the Forerunner ship before it reaches Earth. I haven't read it. But yeah, they're all like at least a couple weeks between games, and then 4, 5, and Infinite are like months, and it's just you have to read novels if you want to really understand who new characters are and what the heck happened between games and what's happening right now. It's really sad. It's really sad and frustrating. So if they remake Combat Evolved 2 and 3, they can either do a retelling. I don't know if they'll do that, but they could, and then kind of wipe the slate clean pretty much, and then go from there, and then maybe remake 4, 5, and Infinite, but that would be in like 20 years. Because if I don't think they're working on Halo 2 and 3 remake right now. They might be thinking about it. But they're definitely working on some follow-up, hopefully, to Halo Infinite. We'll see. We'll see. Um, but I'm very curious to see what they do with the Combat Evolved remake, and if it's successful, if they do Halo 2 and Halo 3. Um, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens. I hope the remake is good. Um, and in the context of them wanting to make or potentially make a Halo 2 and 3 remake, them reusing Halo Infinite assets like the Marines and the Covenant, um, it makes a lot of sense because then they would have cohesive art styles between remakes. All the remakes would have a consistent art style, at least in terms of enemy models, um, which I think makes a ton of sense. If you think about it that way, them using Halo Infinite models makes a ton more sense. It makes sense in them just trying to cut down on cost too. But the game is also a very much a work in progress. So maybe in next year when it releases, um, we'll have like really nice high definition combat evolved assets, the classic marine armor and elites and grunts and things. But we'll see. We'll see. At the very least, the cutscenes we've seen in Chief's armor look really nice. They look really nice. So, um, we'll see what happens with the remake. I'm hopeful. I just want to like Halo again. I just want to be happy. I don't want to be sad. I want to be happy. Um, but we'll see. The one thing that like is a little confusing is that the Combat Evolved remake doesn't have competitive multiplayer. It has 4 player split screen, or at least 2 player split screen, and then 4 player co-op, um, which is really cool. I'm glad they're doing that because they cut that from Halo Infinite. At least split screen co-op. They added network co-op to Halo Infinite, or maybe they did. I don't remember. Maybe they added it in the last update to Halo Infinite. I have no idea. um, but there's no multiplayer, so we won't have a new Halo multiplayer game for at least 2 years. Because whatever other Halo game they're working on something else. There's the very poorly kept secret of certain affinities Halo Battle Royale or multiplayer project. So maybe they're still maybe they'll retool that or do something with that game. Because that's still we haven't even like there hasn't even been officially announced, but we just know about it. So, maybe that's what they're working on. But we'll be without new Halo multiplayer for a couple of years. Because Halo Infinite is they got its last content update this month. So I don't. Yeah, it's just that's the weirdest part to me. Why not make multiplayer unless they can't get it to work? Or I don't know. I think it's really weird. Because a big chunk of what made Halo what it is its multiplayer. Especially like that's like half the whole game. So if they charge like $70 for the Halo campaign remake, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough sell for me because um there's no multiplayer. And if someone asks me if it's worth it, I just tell them to get the Master Chief Collection because you get 5 games, or no, you get 6 games. Yeah, you get 6 games, and all their multiplayers and things like that. So that thing and it's only $40. Maybe it's 50 on Steam. It goes on sale pretty regularly during the big sales for like $10, which is a steal. Or maybe 15. So I just tell people to get the Master Chief Collection, unless they have a PlayStation. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the campaign remake is just a project to help the studio figure out how to use Unreal going forward. So, which makes sense. And if it does well, maybe we'll get a Halo 2 and Halo 3 remake in like 10 years, over the course of 10 years. And then maybe eventually we'll get a Halo 7 someday, perchance. I don't know. I would not be upset if they're like, okay, we're just gonna start over now. We're gonna start from the beginning and do our. We're gonna start over. Like, okay, good job, good. But also, please give us some spin-offs. Like, why don't we have a flood like survival game when we play as like a marine or an ODST? Why don't we have another ODST game? So like to get let some other studios make some Halo games. Please. Please. I would really like to see an id Software Halo game. I think that would be cool. I think that would be fun. But I don't know. I don't know. I got plenty of other games to play and to be excited about, you know. Like there's Monster Hunter Stories 3 that comes out in March. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited for it. Anyway, sorry, I did another rambling stream. I'm so sorry. I did see you, Ninetale. I'm sorry. I got distracted by the rambles. I do see you. Thank you for being here, dear. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's my thoughts. I don't think it'll be too late. I think this is like their like last shot of being like, we are still competent, or to you know, at least to the Halo audience anyway. They rebranded as Halo Studios, and all of the studio heads and people in power at 343 are gone now, or have been promoted higher. And there's new studio heads and stuff. So I just hope it's good. I hope it's fun. We'll see in a year, I guess. You're a good boy, Rock Lobster. You got it. You got it. Anyway, sorry for rambling for 40 minutes. Or however long that was. I kind of just black out and then I wake up after rambling. Hope that was competent or easy to follow. Semi-understandable rambles.
Okay. Rock Lobster, thank you for being here. Thank you for lurking and chatting, spending time with us on the streams. Thank you. Thank you. It's always good to see you, Rock Lobster. You worked very, very hard this week. I'm very, very proud of you. boy. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Clubster, thank you for being who you are. Doing what you do. Right, so on the better place. And I'm elevated anyway. Very good boy. Good boy, you're a clubster. Good boy. Such a good boy, yes you are. Yes you are such a good boy. Look at you, such a good boy, yes you are. Yes you are such a good boy. Good boy. Good boy, you're a clubster. Good boy. Such a good boy, yes you are. Yes you are such a good boy. Look at you, such a good boy, yes you are. Such a good boy, yes you are. Yes you are such a good boy. Such a good boy, yes you are. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Mwah, 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 mwah.
There you go, Rock Lobster. Thank you for the redeem sword. Thank you, thank you. Hopefully that was alright for you. But we are approaching the 2-hour mark. So if you have any trigger requests or anything of the sort, please get those in soon. So I get those to you. I guess we could read more of a Halo novel we read last week. We could do that. Sorry, well, I'll probably lost tracking. So I got these books from a thrift store in my uncle's town in Wyoming. So these have been well loved before even I had them, and I've read them multiple times over. Let me drink some water. So where we left off, we kind of got to the point where I think we ended right after Chief got some weapons. We're still in the Pillar of Autumn. Yeah, and so this is Halo: The Flood. It's the only Halo novel that has adapted one of the games. So take that for what you will. Okay. Excuse me. This is page 30 of the definitive edition of The Flood. Sorry about this, Diffles. Stupid nose. Okay. Ashamed by the ignominy of it, but consistent with his orders, the elite named Isna Nosoli waited until the grunts, jackals, and 2 members of his own race had charged out through the human airlock before leaving the assault boat himself. Though armed with a plasma pistol, plus half a dozen grenades, he was there to observe rather than fight, which meant that the elite would rely on both his energy shielding and active camouflage to keep him alive. His role, and an unaccustomed one at that, was to function as an Osuna, or an eye of the prophet. The concept, as outlined to Nosoli by his superior, was to insert experienced officers into situations where intelligence could be gleaned, and to do so early enough to obtain high-quality information. Though both intelligent and brave, the prophets felt that the elites had an unfortunate tendency to destroy everything in their path, leaving very little for their analysts to analyze. Now, by adding Asunas to the combat mix, the prophets hoped to learn more about the humans, ranging from data on their weapons and force deployments to the greatest prize of all, the coordinates for the home planet, Earth. Nosili had to retrieve the enemy ship's AI, to capture senior personnel, and to record everything he saw via the cameras attached to his helmet. The first two goals were bound to be difficult, but a quick check confirmed that the video gear was working and the third objective was assured. So, even though the assignment was empty of honor, Nosili understood its purpose and was determined to succeed, if only as a means to return to the regular infantry where he belonged. The elite heard the rhythmic clatter of a human weapon, and a group of their marines backed around a corner, closely pursued by a pack comprised of grunts and jackals. The Asuna considered killing the humans, thought better of it, and flattened himself against a bulkhead. None of the combatants noticed the point where the metal appeared to be slightly distorted, and a moment later the spy slipped away. It seemed as if the autumn was infested with chrome-armored demons spouting plasma fire. The Master Chief had acquired an MA-5B assault rifle along with close to 400 rounds of 7.62mm armor-piercing ammunition. In this situation, with plenty of ordnance lying around, he preferred to reload when the ammo indicator on his weapon dropped to around 10. Failure to do so could result in disaster if he ran into serious opposition. With that in mind, the chief hit the release, allowed a nearly empty magazine to fall, and shoved a new clip into its place. The weapon's original ammo counter reset, and as did its cousin in his HUD. "We're closer," Cortana said from somewhere just outside his head. "Duck through that hatch ahead and go up one level." The Master Chief ran into a shimmery black-clad elite and opened fire. There were grunts in the area as well, but he knew the elite posed the real danger. He expertly sprayed a trio of bursts at the alien. The elite roared defiance and fired in return, but the sheer volume of the specially hardened 7.62mm projectiles caused the elite's shielding to flare, overload, and fail. The bulky alien fell to his knees, bent forward, and collapsed. Frightened by what had happened to their leader, the grunts made barking noises, turned, and began to scurry away. Individually, the grunts were cowards, but the Spartan had seen what a pack of the creatures could do. He opened fire again. The alien bodies tumbled and fell. He continued on through the hatch, hearing more firing, and turned in that direction. Cortana called out, "Covenant, on the landing above us." He ran toward a flight of metal stairs and charged straight for the landing. Boots rang on metal as he slammed a fresh magazine into the weapon's receiver and passed a wounded Marine. The Spartan remembered the soldier from his last action on one of Reach's orbiting defense stations. The Marine held addressing to a plasma burn and managed to smile. "Glad you could make it, Chief. We saved some party favors just for you." The Spartan nodded, paused on the landing, and took aim at a jackal. The vaguely bird-like aliens carried energy shields, handheld units, rather than the full body protection the elites favored. The jackal shifted to take aim at the wounded Marine, and the chief saw his opening. He fired a burst to the jackal's unprotected flank, and the alien hit the deck plates dead. He continued to climb up the flight of stairs and came nearly eye to eye with another elite. The alien roared, charged forward, and attempted to use the plasma rifle like a club. The Master Chief evaded the blow. He'd fought elites hand-to-hand before and knew they were dangerously strong, and backed away. He leveled the assault weapon at the elite's belly and squeezed the trigger. The Covenant soldier seemed to absorb the bullets like a sponge, continued to advance, and was just about to swing when a final round cut through his spinal cord. The alien soldier slammed into the deck, twitched once, and died. Spartan 117 reached for another magazine. Another elite roared, as did another. There was no time to reload, so the Master Chief turned to take them on. He discarded the assault rifle and drew his sidearm. There were a pair of dead Marines at the alien's feet, roughly 25 meters away. Well within range, he thought, and opened fire. The lead elite snarled as the powerful handgun rounds tore into the shielding around his head. Sensing the Spartan's threat, the alien shifted all their fire in his direction, only to watch as it dissipated against his shields and armor. Now, free to direct their fire wherever they chose, the Marines launched a hastily organized counterattack. A fragmentation grenade blew one elite into bloody ribbons, shredded the jackals who had the poor judgment to stand next to him, and sent pieces of shrapnel flying across the stairwell to slam into the bulkhead. The other elite was consumed by a hail of bullets. He seemed to wilt, fold, and fly apart. That's what I'm talking about, a Marine crowed. He fired a coup de grace into the alien's head. Satisfied that the area was reasonably secure, the Master Chief moved on. He passed through a hatch, helped a pair of Marines take out a group of grunts, and marched down a corridor drenched with blood, both human and alien. The deck shook as the Autumn took a new hit from a ship-to-ship missile. There was a muffled clang and a light flared beyond the viewport. The boats are launching, Cortana announced. We should hurry. I am hurrying, the Master Chief replied. I'll get there as soon as I can. Cortana started to reply, reconsidered, and processed the equivalent of an all-apologetic shrug. Sometimes, fallible though they were, humans were right. Flight Officer Captain Carol Rowley, better known to the ship's Marine contingent by her call sign, Fellhammer, waited for the grunt to round the corner. She shot him in the head, and the little methane-breathing bastard dropped like a rock. The pilot took a quick peek, verified that the next corridor was clear, and motioned to those behind her. Come on, let's get where the getting's good. 3 pilots, along with an equal number of ground crew, were followed as Rowley thundered down the hall. She was a tall, broad-shouldered woman, and she ran with a flat-footed determination. The plan, if the wild-ass scheme she concocted could be dignified as such, was to make it down the ship's launch bay, jump into their D-77 TC Pelican dropships, and get off the Autumn before the cruiser smacked into the construct below. At best, it would be a tricky takeoff and a messy landing, but she'd rather die behind the stick of her bird than trust her fate to some lifeboat jockey. Besides, maybe some transports would come in handy, if anybody actually made it off the ship alive. That was looking like an increasingly big maybe. They're behind us, somebody yelled. Run faster. Rowley wasn't a sprinter, she was a pilot, damn it. She turned to take aim at her pursuers when a globe of glowing green plasma sizzled past her ear. Screw this, she yelled, and ran with renewed energy. As the battle with the interlopers continued to rage, a grunt named Yap. I used to call him Yap, but it's Yap. With a small detachment of his own kind through a half-melted hatch and came upon the scene of a massacre. The nearest bulkhead was drenched in shimmering blue blood. Spent shell casings were scattered everywhere, and a tangled pile of grunt bodies testified to an engagement lost. Yap kneed in brief mourning for his fallen brethren. That most of the dead were grunts like Yap didn't surprise him. The prophets had long made use of his race as cannon fodder. He hoped that they had gone to a methane-rich paradise, and was about to pass by the gruesome heap when one of the bodies groaned. The grunt paused, and accompanied by one of his fellows, a grunt named Gaga, he waded into the gory mess, only to discover the noise was associated with a black-armored member of the elite, one of the prophet-blessed types who were in charge of this ill-considered raid. By law and custom, Yap's race was required to revere the elites as near-divine envoys of the prophets. Of course, the implementation of law and custom was somewhat flexible on the battlefield. Leave him, Gaga advised. That's what he would do if it were us lying wounded. True, Yap said thoughtfully, but it would take all 5 of us to carry him back to the assault boat. It took Gaga 10 full heartbeats to assimilate the idea and finally appreciate the genius of it. We wouldn't have to fight. Precisely, Yap said, as the sounds of battle grew louder once more. So, let's slap some dressings on his wounds, grab his arms and legs, and drag his ass out of here. A quick check revealed that the elite's wounds weren't mortal. A human projectile had bored its way into the warrior's face, sliced along the side of his head, and flattened itself on the inside surface of the elite's helmet. The force of the blow had knocked him unconscious. Aside from that, some cuts and bruises sustained when he fell, the elite would survive. A pity, Yap thought. Satisfied that their ticket off the ship would live long enough to get them where they wanted to go, the grunts grabbed the warrior's limbs and waddled down the corridor. Their battle was over. The Autumn's contingent of orbital drop shock troopers, also known as ODSTs or Helljumpers, had been assigned to protect the cruiser's experimental power plant, which consisted of a unique network of fusion engines. The engine room was served by 2 main access points, each protected by a titanium A hatch. Both were connected by a catwalk and were still under human control. The fact that Mayor Antonio Silva's Marines had been forced to stack the cone of bodies like firewood in order to maintain clear fields of fire testified to how effective the men and women under his command had been. There had been human casualties as well, plenty of them, including Lieutenant Melissa McKay, who waited impatiently, while Doc Valdez, the platoon's medic, bandaged her arm. There was a lot to do, and clearly McKay wanted to get up and do it. Got some bad news for you, Lieutenant, the medic said. The tattoo on your bicep, the one with the skull and the letters ODST, took a serious hit. You can get a new one, of course, but scar tissue won't take the ink in quite the same way. McKay knew the patter had a purpose, knew it was Doc's way of taking her mind off of Dawkins, Althani, and Suzuki. The medic secured the bandage in place, and the officer rolled her sleeve down over the dressing. You know what, Valdez? You truly are full of it. And I mean that as a compliment. Doc wiped his forehead with the back of a sleeve. It came away with Althani's blood on it. Thanks, LT. Compliment accepted. All right, Major Silva boomed as he strode out onto the center of the catwalk. Listen up. Playtime is over. Captain Keyes is tired of our company and wants us to leave this tub. There's a construct down there complete with an atmosphere, gravity, and one thing Marines love like beer. Then that's dirt beneath our feet. The ODST officer paused at that moment, allowing his bright, beady eyes to sweep the faces around him, his mouth straight as a crease. Most of the crew, not to mention your fellow jarheads, will be leaving the ship in lifeboats. They'll ride to the surface in air-conditioned comfort, sipping wine and nibbling on appetizers. Not you, however. Oh, no, you're going to leave the Pillar of Autumn by a different method. Tell me, boys and girls, how will you leave? It was a time-honored ritual, and the ODST Marines roared the answer in unison. We go feet first, sir. Damned right you do, Silva barked. Now let's get to those drop pods. The Covenant is holding a picnic down on the surface, and every single one of you is invited. You have 5 minutes to strap in, hook up, and shove a cork in your ass. It was an old joke, one of their favorites, and the Marines laughed as they had just heard it for the first time. Then they formed into squads and followed their non-coms out into a corridor and ran down the port side of the ship. McKay led her platoon down the hall, past the troopers assigned to guard the intersection, and through what had been a battlefield. Bodies lay sprawled where they had fallen. Plasma burns marked the bulkheads. Sorry, I lost my place. And a long line of 7.62 millimeter dimples marked the last burst that one of the dead soldiers would ever fire. They pounded around a corner and into what the Marines referred to as Hell's waiting room. The trooper streamed down the center of a long, narrow compartment that housed 2 rows of oval-shaped individual drop pods. Each pod had the name of an individual trooper and was poised over a tube that extended down through the ship's belly. Most combat landings were made via armed assault boats, but the boats were slow and subject to anti-aircraft fire, and that was why the UNSC invested the time and money necessary to create a second way to deliver troops through the atmosphere, the HEV, or Human Entry Vehicle. Computer-controlled anti-aircraft fire would nail some of the pods, but they made small targets, and each hit would result in 1 death rather than a dozen. There was just one problem. As the ceramic skins that covered the HEVs burned away, the air inside the pods became unbelievably hot, sometimes fatally so, which is why ODST personnel were referred to as hell jumpers. It was an all-volunteer outfit, and it took a special kind of crazy to join up. McKay remained on the central walkway until all of her men had entered his particular pod. She knew that meant she would have 60 seconds less to make her own preparations, and was quick to enter her HEV once the last hatch had closed. Once inside, McKay's hands were a blur as she secured her harness, ran the obligatory systems check, removed a series of safeties, armed her ejection tube, and eyed the tiny screen mounted in front of her. The Autumn's fire control computer had already calculated the force required to blow the pod free and drop the HEV into the correct entry path. All she had to do was hang on, pray that the pod's ceramic skin would hold long enough for the chute open and tried to ignore how fragile the vehicle actually was. No sooner had the officer braced her boots against the bulkhead and looked up at the countdown than the last digit clicked from 1 to 0. The pod dropped, accelerated out of the ejection tube, and fell toward the ring-shaped world below. Her stomach lurched and her heart rate spiked. Somebody popped a tiny disc into a data player, touched a button, and pushed the hyped-up strains of the Helljumpers anthem out over the team frequency. The regs made it clear that the unauthorized use of UNSC communications facilities was wrong, very wrong, but McKay knew that at that particular moment it was right, and Silva must have agreed because nothing came in over the command frequency. The music pounded in her ears. The HEV shuddered as it hit the outer layer of the construct's atmosphere, and the Marines fell feet first toward the ring. The deck jumped as the Pillar of Autumn absorbed yet another blow, and the battle continued to rage within. The Master Chief was close now, and prepared to sprint for a lifeboat. That was when Cortana said, "Behind you!" and the Master Chief felt a plasma bolt hit him squarely between the shoulder blades. He rolled with the blow and sprang to his feet. He whirled to face his attacker and saw that a grunt had dropped out of an overhead maintenance way. The diminutive alien stood with his feet planted on the deck, a plasma pistol overcharging in his claws. The Master Chief took 3 steps forward, used the assault rifle to knock the creature off its feet, and followed it with a 3-round burst. The grunt's pistol discharged its stored energy into the ceiling. Drips of molten metal sizzled on the Master Chief's shields. Okay. Welcome back from the break, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you. We'll probably call it a night here in like 5 to 10 minutes. So this is the last call for any trigger requests or good boy, good girl redeems and smooches and things. Where did we leave off? You want some smooches, Rock Lobster? You got it. Let me drink some water. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry about the burps. Goodness. Alright, there you go, Rock Lobster. Thank you for the sweet redeem, sir. Thank you. Hopefully that was alright for you. How much longer is this chapter? We can maybe finish the first chapter. We'll see. We'll see. The grunt's pistol discharged its stored energy into the ceiling. Drips of molten metal sizzled on the Master Chief's shields. The armor-piercing rounds punctured the alien's breathing apparatus, released a stream of methane, and caused the body to spin like a top. A trio of additional grunts landed on the Master Chief's shoulders and grabbed hold. It was almost laughable until the Spartan realized that one of them was trying to remove his helmet. A second alien carried an ignited plasma grenade. The little bastards meant to drop the explosive into his armor. He flexed his shoulders and shook himself like a dog. Grunts flew in every direction as the Master Chief used short-controlled bursts to put them down. He turned toward the lifeboats. Now, Cortana urged, run! The Spartan ran. As the door started to close, a nearby Marine fell while running for the escape craft, and the Chief paused long enough to scoop the soldier up and hurl him into the boat. Once inside, they joined a small group of crew members already on board the escape craft. Now would be a very good time to leave, Cortana commented coolly, as something else exploded and the cruiser shuddered in response. The Master Chief stood facing the hatch. He waited for it to close all the way, saw the red light appear, and knew it was sealed. Punch it. The pilot triggered the launch sequence, and the lifeboat blasted free of the ship. Balanced on a column of fire, the boat skimmed along the surface of the Autumn at dizzying speed. Plasma blasts from a Covenant warship slammed into the Autumn's hull. In seconds, the lifeboat dropped away from the cruiser and dove toward the ring. The Master Chief killed his external comm system and spoke directly to Cortana. So, any idea what this thing is? No, Cortana admitted. I managed to slice some I managed to slice some data out of the Covenant battle network. They call it Halo, and it has some kind of religious significance to them, but your guess is as good as mine. She paused, and the Spartan sensed the AI's amusement. Well, almost as good. Halo, he repeated. Looks like we're going to be calling it home for a while. The lifeboat was too small to mount a Fukujawa faster than light drive, so there was nowhere to go but the ring. There were no shouts of jubilation, no high fives, only silence as the boat fell through the blackness of space. They were alive, but that was subject to change, and that left nothing to celebrate. One Marine said, "This duty station really sucks." No one saw any reason to contradict him. Rolly and her companions skidded to a halt, turned back the way they had come, and let loose with everything they had. Their weaponry included 2 pistols, 1 assault rifle, and a plasma rifle that a pilot had scooped up along the way. Not much of an arsenal, but sufficient to knock 3 jackals off their feet and put the aliens down for good. Rolly caved the last jackal's skull in with her foot. Eager to get aboard their ships, the group ducked through the docking bay hatch, closed it behind them, and ran for the Pelicans. Fohammer spotted her bird, gave thanks for the fact it was undamaged, and ran up the ramp. As always, it was fueled, armed, and ready to fly. Fry, her co-pilot, dropped into position behind her, with Crew Chief Cullen bringing up the rear. Once in the cockpit, Raleigh strapped in, ran an abbreviated pre-flight checklist, and started the transport's engines. They joined with the rest to create a satisfying roar. The outer hatch cycled open. Loose gear tumbled into space as the bay explosively decompressed. Moments later, the cruiser entered the ring world's atmosphere, which meant that the transports could depart. But they had to do it soon. Re-entry friction was already creating a wall of fire on the ship. "Damn!" Fry exclaimed. "Look at that!" and pointed forward. Rowley looked, saw a Covenant's landing craft coming straight towards the bay, braving the heat generated by the Autumn's re-entry velocity. There was a limited window of opportunity to get off this sinking ship, and the Covenant bastard was right in the way. She swore and released the safety on the Pelican's 70mm chin gun. The weapon shook the entire ship, punched holes through the alien armor, and hit something vital. The enemy vessel shuddered, lost control, and spun into the Autumn's hull. "All right," the ringleader said over the ship-to-ship frequency. "Let's go down and meet our hosts. See you on the ground. Foe hammer out." She clicked off the transmitter and whispered, "Good luck." One of the drop ships left the bay, did a series of wing-overs, and dropped through the overarching ring. Raleigh struggled to maintain control as the atmosphere tore at the ship. The status panel flashed a heat warning as friction created a massive thermal buildup along the Pelican's fuselage. The leading edges of the ship's short, stubby wings started to glow. "Geez, boss," Fry said, his teeth rattling from the constant bouncing of the Pelican. "Maybe this wasn't such a good idea." Foehammer made some adjustments, managed to improve the ship's glide angle, and glanced to her right. "If you've got a better idea," she yelled, "bring it up at the next staff meeting." He nodded. "Yes, ma'am. Until then," she added, "shut the hell up and let me fly this thing." The Pelican hit an air pocket, dropped like a rock, and caught itself. The transport shook like a thing possessed. Raleigh screamed with anger and battled her controls as her ship plummeted toward the surface of the ring. Covenant forces had launched a concerted attack on the command deck about 15 minutes earlier, but the defenders had beaten them back. Since that time, the fighting had lessened, and there were reports that at least some of the aliens were using their assault boats to leave the ship. It wasn't clear whether that was due to the considerable number of casualties Covenant forces had suffered, or the realization that the ship was in danger of falling apart. But it hardly mattered. The important thing was that the area around the bridge was clear, which meant that Keyes, plus the command team who remained to help him, could carry out their duties without fear of being shot in the back, or at least for the moment. The next task was to take the Autumn down into the atmosphere, no small order considering the fact that, like all vessels of her tonnage, the cruiser had been constructed in zero-G conditions and wasn't well equipped for this type of movement within atmosphere. Keyes believed it was possible. With that in mind, he planned to close with the Ringworld hand control to the subroutine that Cortana had left for that purpose, and use the last lifeboat to make his escape. Maybe the ship would pancake in the way he planned, and maybe it wouldn't. Whatever the case, it was almost sure to be a landing that would be best experienced from a safe distance. Keyes turned to look at the data scrolling across the nav screen and detected motion out of the corner of his eye. He looked, saw the primary weapons control station shimmer like a mirage in the desert, and rubbed his eyes. By the time the naval officer looked for a second time, the phenomena had vanished. Keyes frowned, turned back to the nav screen, and began the sequence of orders that would put the Autumn in the place she was least equipped to go, on solid ground. Isna Nosali held his breath. The human had looked straight into his eyes, given no alarm, and turned away. Surely his activities had been blessed by those who went before and from whom all knowledge flowed. The camouflage, combined with his own talent for stealth, had proven to be extremely effective since he had come aboard. Nosali had toured both the ship's engine room and flight control center prior to arriving on the bridge. Now, standing in front of a vent, the elite contemplated what to do next. The ship's AI had either been removed or destroyed. He was sure of that. At least some senior personnel remained, however, which meant there was still a chance. In fact, based on the manner in which the other humans interacted with him, Nosali felt certain that the man named Keyes held the position of shipmaster, a very valuable prize indeed. But how to capture the human? He wouldn't come willingly, that was obvious, and his companions were armed. The moment Nosali deactivated his camouflage, they would shoot him. Individually, the humans were weaklings, but they were dangerous in packs, and the animals grew all the more dangerous the nearer they came to extinction. No, patience was the key, which meant the elite would have to wait. Vapor continued to roll out the cold air vent, and the air seemed to shimmer, but no one noticed. All right, Key said. Let's put her down. Stand by to fire the bow thrusters. Fire! The bow thrusters ignited and slowed the ship's rate of descent. The Pillar of Autumn wobbled for a moment as it battled the ring's gravity field, then corrected its angle of entry. Cortana took over after that, or rather the part of herself that she had left behind did. The Autumn's thrusters fired in increments so small that they were like single notes in an ongoing melody. The highly adaptive subroutine tracked variables, monitored feedback, and made thousands of decisions per second. The much-abused hull shuddered as it entered the atmosphere, started to shake, and sent a host of loose items tumbling to the deck. That's as far as we can take her, Keyes announced. Delegate all command and control functions to Cortana's cousin, and let's haul ass off this boat. There's a ragged chorus of aye-ayes as the bridge crew disengaged from the ship as they had worked so hard to save. One last look around and drew their sidearms. The fighting had died down, but that didn't mean all the Covenant forces had left. Nosali watched anxiously as the humans started to leave the bridge. He waited for the last person to exit and fell into step behind. The beginnings of a plan had started to form in his mind. It was audacious. No, make that outrageous. But the elite figured that made the scheme all the more likely to succeed. The lifeboat reserved for the bridge crew was close by. 6 Marines had been detailed to guard it, and 3 of them were dead. Their bodies had been dragged off to one side and laid in a row. A corporal shouted, "Attention on deck," Keyes said, "as you were," and gestured toward the hatch. "Thanks for waiting, son. I'm sorry about your buddies." The corporal nodded stiffly. He must have been off duty when the attack began. One half of his face needed a shave. "Thank you, sir. They took a dozen of the bastards with them." Keyes nodded. 3 lives for 12. That sounded like a good trade-off, but how good was it really? How many Covenant troops were there, anyway? And how many would each human have to kill? He shook the thought off and jerked his thumb towards the opening. "Everybody into the boat, on the double." The survivors streamed into the boat, and Nosali followed, though it was difficult to avoid touching the human vermin in such tight quarters. There was a little bit of space towards the front and a handhold, which would be useful once the gravity generated by the larger ship disappeared. Later, after the lifeboat landed, the elite would find an opportunity to separate Keyes from the rest of the humans and seize him. In the meantime, all he had to do was hang on, avoid detection, and make it to the surface. The human passengers strapped in, the lifeboat exploded out the bay, and it fell towards the ring world below. Jets fired, the small craft stabilized, and it followed a pre-calculated glide path towards the surface. Keyes was seated three slots aft the pilot. He frowned as if looking for something, then waited for the boat to clear. He leaned toward the Marine in front of him. "Excuse me, Corporal." "Sir?" The Marine looked exhausted, but somehow managed to snap into a form of attention, despite being belted into an acceleration chair. "Hand me your sidearm, son." The expression on his face made it plain the last thing the soldier wanted to do was part company with one of his weapons, particularly in close quarters, but the captain was the captain, so he had very little choice. The words "yes, sir" were still making their way from the non-com's brain to his mouth when he felt the M60 pistol being jerked out of his holster. Would one of the 12.7mm rounds punch its way through the lifeboat's relatively thin hull? Keyes wondered. Cause a blowout and kill everyone aboard? He didn't know, but one thing was certain. The Covenant son of a bitch standing in his lifeboat was about to die. Keyes raised the weapon, aimed at the very center of the strange ghostly shimmer, and pulled the trigger. The elite saw the movement, had nowhere to run, and was busy reaching for his own pistol when the first bullet struck. The M6D bucked, the barrel started to rise, and the third slug from the top of the clip passed through the slit in Nosali's helmet, blew his brains out through the back of his skull, and freed him from the tyranny of physical reality. No sooner had the noise of the last shot died away than the camo generator failed, and the elite appeared as if from thin air. The alien's body floated back toward the rear of the cabin. Thousands of globules of alien blood escorted bits of brain tissue on their journey to the lifeboat's stern. Lieutenant Hikoa ducked as one of the elite's boots threatened to hit her head. She pushed the corpse away, her face impassive. The rest of the passengers were too shocked to do or say anything at all. The captain calmly dropped the clip from the gun, ejected the round in the chamber, and handed the weapon back to the stunned corporal. Thanks, Key said. That thing works pretty well. Don't forget to reload it. And that is the end of section 1. Or, yeah, we're in chapter 2 now. Okay. All right. Let's get the heck out of here. I think we're going to raid the Minari tonight. Give me 1 second to swap my headphones, and we will be right back. Okay. There we go. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for spending time with me tonight. Sorry, there's another rambly ASMR stream. I hope it was enjoyable. I don't know if it was relaxing. But I'm gonna go get some seconds of dinner and go back to bed. My head hurts. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 49th Sega Saturday. Tomorrow is Toe Jam and Earl. We are very close to the end. We're very, very close. We might finish before the end of the year. Depends how many week Saturdays are in December. I'm not sure. Otherwise, we'll be finishing Sega Saturdays in like mid-January. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please be safe. Take care of yourselves. Get some food. Get some water. Eat a snack if you haven't yet. Brush your teeth. Use some mouthwash. Floss. Take your meds. Take your vitamins. Excuse me. Put on some cozy pajamas. It's getting cold out there. It is cold out there. Stay warm. Stay dry. Whatever you need. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, guys. Bye bye. Good night, Rock Lobster. Good night. Please be nice to Minari. Bye bye. Bye bye.